Welcome one and all, whoever may be watching this. This will be Deliver Us Mars Part 19. Let's go. Getting dangerously close to the end of the game. Okay, now what's coming up is a chase sequence, and I can only assume it'll take me millions of attempts to get it done. So I'll see you on the successful attempt. Oh, or maybe not.
Inside. Alex, lock this door. They're trying to sabotage the Ark's thrusters. Okay, just a quadruple DPS symmetric encryption that uses a 64-bit cipher key. You've got this.
What am I supposed to be doing?
Please, hear me out. If only for a second. You don't have to do this. This place, everything we've built. I can't go back to Earth. They'll lock me up and throw away the key. We'll be apart again.
Cat, Sarah, the colonists are inside the bridge.
The Arks need to stay here for the colony, but I need you to stay here for me. You're the only thing that's missing. Please, stay. Please.
I'm through. Got the launch sequence started. Start your engines.
I'll try.
Kathy, let's go. Kat.
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry.
What about all the colonists? I don't understand what's happening.
Initiated.
Get to the Ark.
Report on Beta immediately. Departure imminent.
Sarah, I'm coming to get you.
Oh, no, I'm jumping over you. Can I get her? I don't understand. I'm here. Oh, yeah, hold on. She did light up for a second.
Make it. Hold on.
This is deja vu all over again. Except for Kathy's actually being helpful. Like, are all the colonists on board the Ark? Or is everyone just gonna die?
Hey, Ada.
He could totally put his feet up on the overhang. Oh, what's she gonna do? Like, he could put his feet up there, right under. Oh, good on her for being the better woman. So are all the colonists on board? What?
Automated launch protocol initiated. Start manual cross-checks.
Kat, you got this.
Oh, this will be me again. Uh-oh. Cat don't got this. So...
Sarah, sit rep.
I initiated the launch sequence from the control room.
Copy. Proceeding with final checks. Initiating airtight seal.
Oh, down here, hello.
Sealed. Checking air composition.
Yeah, okay, so I need to turn this around. So nitrogen, 78, I think it was. How do I not do this anymore? 22.
We're good. Initiating adductor retract. Sarah, vent lines.
Go.
Starting automatic ground launch sequencer.
How?
Retracting orbit.
Already retracted.
Okay. Starting auxiliary power units. Done.
What does it have to be? I don't know. Doesn't say anywhere. It doesn't give me a number. Okay. We either have to move it close. Yeah, okay, cool.
Cap retracted. Visors check. Go.
Go.
Transferring ground to internal power. Transfer complete. We're on internal power. Sarah, initiate sound suppression.
Initiated.
Starting helium-free thrusters. Good to go. Thrusters up. Lift off. Lift off.
Like, surely we didn't need to bring all the arcs back. Like, if this one had a successful colony attached to it, surely you could have just left that one and taken the other one up here. Epilogue time. Okay, we're floating around in space. I am curious to see how this ends.
It's good to hear your voice. What happened to the Unison colonists?
It's all worked out and taken care of.
Good. I love you, Imzadi.
I love you too.
He made it. I'm so sorry, Sarah, for everything.
It's alright, Kat. You knew it was right in the end. That's what matters.
Why did you come after me?
I don't know. If you're looking for Isaac, I granted his request. He's down the corridor.
Thanks.
Did you tell him about Claire already?
No. I'm gonna tell him right now.
Good luck.
I had no idea where she was. It's like, is this some kind of dream sequence where there's just voices? Oh, I just went through the bulkhead. Surely Isaac would be locked up somewhere.
Sit with me. Front row seats to a miracle. It took years for us to find the right biopolymer. Eventually somebody found it. Now we can create nature. You're going to have to print a lot more than this if you want to save the Earth. Strange. I just remember the day we were born. You probably don't know this, but I almost lost you and your mother that day.
Really?
Yeah. When Liz was giving birth, witnessing worst storms we'd ever seen. Rolling blackouts were a common occurrence. This time the flood took out the hospital's generators. It wasn't exactly optimal, to say the least. You were born with an umbilical cord. Your umbilical cord wrapped around your neck. And your mum lost consciousness due to shock.
Jeez.
Yeah. I was just standing there in the corner, watching all the nurses and doctors running around trying to save you both. I felt so useless. So utterly bound. When we get back to Earth, don't take me away. We won't be together, you know that, Kathy.
I know.
I really did try to do what's best for humanity's survival. No matter what we do, no matter how hard we try, we just can't seem to unite. We fight each other if we have a common enemy or a common goal. We disagree on how to overcome it. We become hateful in our rhetoric and destructive in our actions. We'll steal another man's bread if we're hungry, and we'll destroy their home if we want it for ourselves. We keep doing this to each other, to ourselves, as if somehow personal gain always triumphs unity. What are we trying to save if we ourselves just end up destroying it? I really believed what I was doing was right. But then, who says you're right? Who gets to decide that?
It's good to hear your voice. What happened to the Unison colonists?
That, it's all worked out and, taken care of.
Good. I love you, Amzadi.
I love you too.
And even if there is a way of knowing that you're fighting for the true greater good, I mean, why do you have to fight for it in the first place? How do you stay strong through all that? How do you stay good? Believe this is what we should do. I hope you're right.
Hope springs eternal in the human breast.
What?
We can be better.
Mission Control, this is Sarah Baker, Commander of Mission Opera. The mission was a success. We're returning to Earth. ETA is 6 months, 13 days, and 4 hours. Mission Control, please respond. This is our 3rd attempt to reach you. Are you there?
Okay, I really hope the 3rd game is going to be Deliver Us Earth. Seems to kind of be the way this is going right now. I have to say, I don't know what I have to say actually. I think overall I really enjoyed this game. They definitely struggled a bit, I think, mostly just with convenient things happening all the time. And you could have put in like a tiny bit of explanation and that kind of would have covered it in a sense. And then just not really explaining things very well. Things being a little bit awkward, like the whole climbing thing, and then suddenly we have to jump and climb and do all these kinds of amazing acrobatics with like no tutorial, no explanation on how that's supposed to happen. But I have to say, I really liked the story and I loved the characters. I feel like, and I haven't seen this for a long time in media, they really did achieve that whole who is correct, were any of them correct? And even just Isaac's little spiel and then him being to his daughter, if you believe this to be the right thing, then okay, as long as you believe it. And then at the very end, having Sarah trying to reach Mission Control but not being able to get any kind of signal, which obviously is inferring that maybe things are not all well and good back on Earth and maybe they shouldn't have left Mars. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, even with the characters and their motivations, I really feel like they really achieved a lot there, and I really appreciate that the characters weren't just simply, here are the good guys, here are the bad guys. And there was, I guess, with MacArthur, an element of that. But even with Isaac, the whole time I was sort of flip-flopping back and forth between how I felt about him as a person, as a dad, as someone in charge of something. And sometimes I was like, maybe he's just misguided, but then he'd say something or a situation would happen, and then it was like, no, he's not. He's really, I don't know, killing people, or really believes that Earth can't be saved, and that's his, whole motivation is to try and create something new for Kathy, of all people. But not really even having Kathy with him. It's sort of a bit of a tragic kind of character in a sense. Very misguided, but you can't sit here and say he was wrong. Like, everything he believed and everything he did was absolutely wrong. It's kind of that grey area of like, well, I mean, Earth was kind of not doing great, and there was clearly an opportunity to go to Mars and try something new. Were they wrong in doing that? Were they? And then even Kathy herself, I really appreciated her character, because you obviously had Claire, who was older and could sort of see things in a more complete way, whereas Kathy was quite young as all of this was happening, and she obviously loved her dad and didn't quite understand what was going on, why he was doing what he was doing. And he himself, I guess, was quite manipulative, so was capable of convincing her that everything was fine. So even just her journey, I guess, where she really just wanted to find her dad, and she had all these great memories of her dad, and even though other people didn't like him, she didn't quite understand that whole situation. And then at the very end, it sort of all kind of fell into place, and she realized he wasn't the amazing dad that she remembered him to be. And I wasn't quite sure where they were going to go with that. Like, would they completely redeem Isaac and then make them have a great relationship? Would Kathy side with him? And instead it's kind of this bittersweet, they're like reunited in a sense, but in another way they're completely separate, and I really appreciated that. I think, and I said this before, there are things in this game that they've done so stinking well, and it's just such a shame that there were other things which seem to have just fallen by the wayside, or didn't have as much thought or as much time, or I don't know what, but it just kind of seems like there were things that were almost forgotten, or like it just kind of glossed over, and whatever, and things kind of just happened because they could happen. Like, I still, when Kathy was in orbit, when they were in orbit above Mars and Kathy had to go off and cut the engine off, and something exploded and she got flung out into space. I mean, did she cut the engine off? I don't know what the outcome of that was, and they like never talked about it again. It kind of just happened, and then you move on with the game. And there were situations where that happened as well, where something would happen, just move on with the game. I get like the whole diving sort of flashbacks. They were obviously building up the relationship between Kathy and her dad, but also I don't know, I'm not necessarily sold on them being a crucial part of the game when there were so many other flashbacks going on as well, But I just think maybe if they had have spent a bit more time with Kathy and her sister, then when Claire died, it might have had more of an impact, personally. But, it kind of just was what it was, and then she died, and it was like, okay, moving on. I did like Sarah, though, because again, in the first game, she was sort of portrayed as kind of the good guy, trying to figure out what was going on, and then ultimately, got stabbed and preserved and whatnot. But then in this game, again, it was kind of that she had her motivations, she wanted to do what she needed to do, and she obviously had the fear of Isaac and what he might do and what the ramifications of everything might be. And I do really appreciate you sort of see her struggling with that, and then ultimately at the very end, would she save Isaac, would she not? And she did, which was fantastic. That really could have gone either way. Like, they set that up really well. Ryan was a bit of a non-event. I struggled even with why he was there. I wish he got a bit more presence, a bit more screen time, a bit more of a character. He kind of just seemed to be the agreeable one who, you know, you could sort of then play the tension off of Sarah and Kathy. And he was sort of the one in the middle trying to keep everything together. I did feel my heart broke at the very end, where you sort of saw him saying that everything got resolved, and then you see the dead people floating in the background, and that, I think, was the most development he got as a character. And it was heartbreaking. I really felt for him and was like, oh, this poor guy just has gone through so much that he didn't even sign up for, and he's now had to like kill people because it was either that or they kill him or stop the Ark from leaving or whatever. Yeah, so I think it's a good game. I think I would be more inclined to replay the first game, and I think honestly of the two, the first game is my favorite, and I tried very hard not to compare them because they are two very different games in a sense. Like the first game is short and sweet, puzzle based, and then you've got the story to go along with it, whereas this is obviously almost double the length of the first game, very story oriented, and then you've got the puzzles to go along with it. So I was trying very hard to not compare the two, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, the first one was definitely my favorite, and it made a lot more sense. The areas kind of gelled together a lot better. Yes, there was a degree of convenience in the first game, and your disbelief had to be suspended a couple of times, but it wasn't to the same degree as this game. So yeah, I would have to say the first one I would probably happily replay over and over again, whereas I think this one might be a nice game to dust off every so often and enjoy for the story, I guess, more than anything else. But yeah, I do hope there's a third game. If, you know, they get back to Earth and now we have Deliver Us Earth, I'm totally here for that. But yeah. Thank you all for watching, whoever has been. As always, I greatly appreciate it. Next game should be Hogwarts Legacy, depending on how fast I can get those videos recorded and uploaded. So on that note, I'll see you in the next game. Bye!